all the speakers today are from large urban areas, but don't let that deter you from saying, it doesn't apply to me. That I think the key to adapting programs is picking pieces out. If you go anywhere and go, that'll work for us, you're probably not thinking straight, to be honest with you. Nothing is able to be replicated in another location as far as recycling and solid waste goes, in my experience. But pick pieces out that work, and on the budget standpoint, all of us probably have the luxury of we have the luxury, Gail alluded to the luxury, and I'm assuming Wayne will also. We have a nice budget, and again, don't let that deter you either, because it's easy to say, they got a lot of money and that's why they do this. But pick out the pieces that work for you and take it back to your situation. So again, my name's Craig and I work for Wake County. A little overview of our schools. We have 155 schools, and I think I'll say we're the 27th largest school district. I have no idea, but if Gail's going to banner that around, I'll throw something out there. So we have 155 schools. 6 of them are brand new. They opened in July. We have year-round school system kind of being implemented. So the growth in Wake County is absolutely tremendous. We have 120,000 plus students. That's actually more like 130 now. And of those 155, 145 participate in our program. It is sort of voluntary to participate in our program, and we provide all cost of the program. We pay for all costs, including collection, in all Wake County schools. It is a separate contract. We administer that contract and pay for it. So of those schools that exist, 50 of them are year-round, and if anyone has that situation, it just brings up some different challenges. Never will you go to that school and run into every student that goes to school at the same time. So it's just time to refigure how we operate. So it's just reality in a large urban area. Wake County is approximately 45 miles by 38 miles. What's coming from Ohio, that's a very big county, and we've got those 150 schools spread out in that space. So it is a very time-intensive endeavor just to get to all those schools. Sort of an overview of our program. Students are involved for sure. That's kind of the basis of our program is students involved in collection, whoever asked the collection question. We have environmental science clubs, environmental science classes, gifted classes, any class that the teacher thinks that they're interested. After school clubs, the folks that come for breakfast before school, all those and more are involved in the collection of recycling at our school. And so if it's taking you an hour and a half, my suggestion would be go with volume, get more carts and get more students. And again, in our scenario, there's any number of student organizations or classes involved in collection. But that hands-on piece, Gail alluded to it, I think we're all going to say some of the same things, which is a good thing. If everyone kind of agrees, then that might be a key point to walk away from. Integration of operations and education, in our opinion, is crucial. The days of walking into a school and saying, I have a really important message and you need to listen to it, are long over. And if we don't know that yet, we're probably 5 or maybe 10 years behind the curve. The state of North Carolina and any state pretty much dictates to teachers what they're doing on almost a daily basis. So we need to conform to what they need, not say, my message is so important that you need to listen to me. It doesn't matter. The state of North Carolina says, I have to teach these 20 things and you're not one of them. So therefore, everything that we produce in Wake County, curriculum-wise, education-wise, is correlated to North Carolina Standard Course of Study. And that's where you got to start at, is go to what they have to do and work backwards. I'll go as far as to say it's arrogant to do anything different nowadays based on the needs of teachers. That's my personal opinion. So it's got to be based on the North Carolina Standard Course of Study, or if you're in Greenville, whatever we call it in South Carolina, in Ohio, or wherever you're at. We want to fit into what schools are doing, not try to mandate to them what we want them to do. And that has to do with our collection system. But there's a basic system in place, but it changes based on schools because I don't want my carts here, I don't want my carts here. Okay, we'll try to work with you to try to fit it into your system. So I think it's very important to work with them, not to assume that they're going to embrace you and say, man, that is such a great idea. It may be a great idea, but we need to fit it into their system. Budget. We'll talk budget. Here's our budget for the last 3 years. You can see it's gone up. We may be hitting a plateau because we started in fall of 04 with implementation of schools, and we went from just a few on a pilot up to the 155 we have today. And so we spend a lot of money on school recycling. We spend almost no money on public relations and advertising because and I never go to Earth Day either because everyone goes to Earth Day. We're trying to get people and put it into their day-to-day operations, not on Earth Day, and that may make me unpopular in this room, but that's okay. So this is our budget for 3 years. It is on a growth phase. We have 3 full-time educators that are in our schools. We go to every school, minimum of once a year, and year-round schools, we have to go at least twice a year to hit every student. So we generally are in the full school assembly game, which I'll talk about in a minute. But that's our budget. We do pay for recycling collection of mixed office paper at every single school. All of our educational materials, curriculum we've developed. Again, we have our 3 full-time educators, and they're the ones that really run the program. It's one of these deals where, the boss gets to come and talk about it, and they're the ones doing all the work. So they're grumbling back in Raleigh right now. He sits in his office all day, and he's the one that gets to go present. But they're the ones really operating the program. They do all the logistics of delivery of materials, delivery of educational message, getting schools on board, going to meet with the school and seeing where they can put their containers. Those 3 are really the ones that operate our program, and they do, in my opinion, an excellent job. We also have a little bit of temporary labor, interns, summer interns that we have a mascot, which made an appearance earlier in Kelly's slide, and we have a slide with it. And they help with a lot of maintenance work, especially in the summer.